everybody, and welcome back to Chat and Chill News. So let's get into the first one. The first one is interesting to do with a gentleman called Cal Thompson, who appeared on Stormzy's debut album, Gang Signs and Prayers. He has now been caught having sex with a prison worker while serving life for murder. This is a very, very crazy story. Now, he's known as Twitch, or Crazy Titch, as some people may say. Now, the lady that he happened to have sex with was a lady called Jodie Mullins. Now, she's a married woman, and after being caught having sex with Carl Dobson, she came out and admitted to having a relationship, or a sexual relationship, or should I say just having sex, or an affair, because she's married, with Carl Dobson. Now, Dobson shot a music producer called Richard Holmes over the alleged row over disrespectful lyrics back in 2006. Therefore, that's why he's serving, life and murder for apparently shooting him. Again, with this situation, I wouldn't call it a extraordinary, crazy situation. It's just a story. Again, they're both adults. They're both of consent. So, I mean, at most, she'll probably lose her job for it, but it's one of those ones, isn't it? It's a crazy one. But anyway, let's get into the big story this week. Huge story this week, and everyone's talking about it. It's to do with the President Club. A government minister has been reprimanded by Number 10 for attending a men's-only gala that led to allegations of sexual harassment and groping. It's getting deep out here. Always talking this conversation about men with money having all the power and, introducing young girls. Now, what's happened is a minister called Nadhim Zahawi, who's a children's and families minister, has said that he left early, but people are calling for him to step down. Now, it's been said that a lot of these sort of higher power rich people, were basically groping the women. Now, the only women that were at the President Club were the ones called in to work. A lot of them apparently were prostitutes, were among the women hired to work. Now, David Miller, who helped organize the event, has quit his role as the Department for Education. Now, it's getting crazy now, because even the President Club are looking at closing down due to these allegations that are coming towards them. Theresa May is getting involved as well, asking people to speak out, like Nadhim Zahawi. Now, Nadhim Zahawi also did send out a tweet saying that he left early, but, investigations are going in to see what is going on. The event did raise over £2 million. Charities and hospitals are now not accepting these donations because, the nature of how they got these donations isn't looking very well. Those videos came out showing people basically saying this is what my girl looks like. Apparently, a gentleman took out his penis in front of a woman, and, it's getting crazy out here. Now, a Financial Times reporter called Madison Marriage went undercover at the President Club, and I'm going to show you a quick snippet or a video clip of her interview on BBC right now.
It's impossible to describe. Incredibly loud, huge amount of testosterone in the room, excitable, I suppose. 130 women hired as hostesses, and you could have a drink or two on the night.
You could have a drink on the night. Okay.
Yes, which I'm not an experienced hostess, but I've spoken to several who have said that that is very unusual.
Can I ask what was the worst that you saw on that night? It wouldn't necessarily have happened to you, but I mean, clearly there was a lot of sort of grabbing and groping going on.
The worst I was told by one of the hostesses was a man taking his penis out during the course of the dinner. The other one was another man telling a hostess to down her glass of champagne, rip off her knickers and dance on the table. I can't believe that it still goes on in 2018. I think that's quite shocking. I spoke to several women, today I've spoken to a hostess who worked at this event 3 or 4 years ago, who said it is the worst job she has ever done in her entire life.
And yes, so I hope you guys enjoyed a little interview there. Now, this story is pretty big. Comment in the section below if you think sexual harassment is a thing that's never going to end. Me, personally, I think it's crazy that our own government leaders are in this situation, and it's very stupid, and I hope this situation gets fixed ASAP. But anyways, let's get into the next story. Now, next one to do with cigarette. Now, it is said 1 cigarette a day increases heart disease and stroke risk. Now, a lot of people that smoke a lot of cigarettes, they tend to go, you know what, I want to cut down to like 1 or 2 cigarettes a day, 1 a day. However, now they're saying that's even worse. Now, smokers need to quit cigarettes rather than cut back to lower heart disease and stroke. Now, this is not very good news, that the fact that if you lower the amount of cigarettes you have, you increase the ability to get, you know, a heart disease or a stroke. Now, 1 cigarette a day equals 50% more likely to have a heart disease and 30% more likely to have a stroke. Men have about 48% risk of having a heart disease and 25% of a stroke, whereas a woman has a 50% risk of having a heart disease and a 31% of stroke. So I'm assuming if you're a smoker, lady, male, female, please, if you want to cut down, quit, because having one isn't necessarily going to help you in any way or form. It will just increase the chances of being able to have a heart disease or a stroke. So please, 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 if you want to quit, don't cut down, just quit. Now that's the end of the news. I don't know why I've got a pen on my piece of paper, and we will see you back here to discuss the sport. Get straight into the sports, no questions asked. Philip Coutinho will inherit the number 14 shirt that's been left behind by Javier Hernandez. Now, it's also recently been worn by Jordi Cruyff, one of the famous Barcelona players, famously passed away not long ago. Do you think Philip Coutinho will be a huge success at Barcelona, or do you think he'll become a joke? Comment that in the section below. Zinedine Zidane under a lot of pressure now. Now, Real Madrid got knocked out of the Copa del Rey 2-1 to a team called Leganés. Now, a lot of stories are coming out about Zinedine Zidane potentially being under a lot of pressure. Now, the board of Real Madrid have came out in support of Zinedine Zidane a couple of weeks ago. Real Madrid do sit about 19 points, I believe, off the top spot in 4th place, which is below par. Even a bad season at Madrid usually means a second anyway, so the fact that they're that far behind is crazy. It may be because the team's actually old. I mean, all their top players are now in the 30s. You look at players like Sergio Ramos, Marcelo, look at Modric, Ronaldo, Benzema, at 29 age now, he's kind of old. A lot of their, like, you know, number 1 starters are fairly old. Obviously, Varane's young anyways. But, you know, maybe they need to, you know, get some younger talent in. People talking about Eden Hazard potentially moving, Aubameyang potentially moving. Maybe they should just start making some, you know, signings now that can potentially replace or play backup. Now let's get into another story to do with Aymeric Laporte, who's trying to force a move to Manchester City. 57 million, the centre-back at Atletico Bilbao, and he's came out and said that he wants to leave. Now, is Man City need a centre-back right now? There's a lot of questions asked for that one. Maybe it's a move for the summer, we never know, but we do know that Pep Guardiola does plan to get rid of Mangala, so let's see what it goes in with that move there. Now, Eder's move to Palace, Inter Milan, and Crystal Palace are in conversation to get Eder's right now. May help to fund them actually to get Daniel Sturridge from Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, I think, are holding out for at least 20 million. If they do so, it can help fund them to then potentially buy Daniel Sturridge on a permanent purchase rather than a loan. Now, to go into the next story, Baba Rahman potentially maybe moving back to Schalke. Now, he still apparently has a house in Germany since he moved back to Chelsea last year. And, you know, maybe, you know, they want to try and get him back. I don't know whether that's going to be a permanent deal or a loan deal. But as far as I'm concerned, Schalke are after Baba Rahman from Chelsea. And hopefully, potentially, they can get that done. Axel Tuanzebe to be going to Aston Villa for loan. Now, for me as a Man United fan, that's a great move. I put my thumbs up to it. Aston Villa is doing pretty well in the Championship. John Terry, you know, you've been working on the John Terry for a little while, get a bit of tips from him. So a thumbs up for that move. If that move does happen, hopefully it does happen, and we can see that go through. Now, Liverpool and Everton are after Rondon from West Brom. Rondon is a very good player. Hasn't really fulfilled his potential at West Brom. Maybe due to the playing style with a previous manager, you know, likes to play very defensive. And I would love to see what he can do at Liverpool and Everton, a bit more attacking, especially with his height. He's skillful, great on the ball. Why not? Get him in. So yeah, that's the end of the sport. Hope you guys enjoyed the sport, and I will see you back here tomorrow for more news, more gossip, more everything, and you know what's up.